Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting, our mostly weekly, cash or trash. This is the video, like yesterday's video, that's all about facts, what happened to the hot books from 6 months ago. This is a video that's all about JP's opinion, and what I think is going to happen to the hot books of this week and over the next 6 months. I will be right, I will be wrong, I will be like, what? So we'll see. I made predictions, sure to go wrong. That is right. Go Chiefs. I see that in the chat. We had Unruly in here tailgating, and I know he's back. I've seen him comment a couple of times. Mr. Man was in there tailgating as well. BB, what is going on, my friend? Sam, I am. Welcome. What is good? What is good? I got Warlock. What is going on, Warlock? Hey. There's that MTY Ray saying go Chiefs. I'm hopeful that we take care of business against the Steelers. We should be able to. I think we're the much better team, but it's the football. You never know. Ian, what is happening? I am good. I'll be better if my Chiefs win today, for sure, or tonight. Dre, welcome, sir. Welcome. But no, Mr. Raymond say no to go Chiefs. Are you a Bills? Mr. Raymond, the Bills fan? I forget. No, I forget which one I forget. But yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of rooting for the Patriots. I feel like the Bills, which I hate to say because it's the Patriots, but I do feel like the Bills are maybe our biggest threat. I don't know. I think it's gonna be tough. Either way, we got to beat the Steelers, and then we got to beat... Oh, born and raised in Pittsburgh. Okay, you are the Pittsburgh fan. That's right. I think we're better than you guys, but that doesn't necessarily always mean anything, especially as Now, since we've had Mahomes, that usually means something. Pre-Mahomes, we lost lots of games where I thought we were the better team. So, we'll see. Yeah, the Bills did definitely slap the Patriots around last night. I kind of expected that was coming. A lot of people were talking that upset there. I did not see that. Yeah. Hey, J Hood, what is going on? Let's see. And a Bucks fan. Well, no offense, but I'm not going to root for the Bucks in any game. So there you go. But yeah. Yeah, I was glad. Actually, I didn't really want to play the Bills if we win tonight in the divisional round, but I figured we were going to have to play. No matter what, we were probably playing the Bills. So yeah, but we still got to win in order for that to happen. But yeah, so I expected the Bills to get by the Patriots. I expected the Bengals to get by the Raiders, although I thought they'd let them hang around. I thought they were going to choke that away. So we're not here to talk football. Yeah, definitely for sure. The pie face, what is going on? Hello and go Cowboys. So yeah, we are all into football at the moment, but we're here to talk comics, and we're 4 minutes in, and I haven't started doing that yet. So let's get ready to get started. A reminder to anybody that is new, I'm making predictions on what I think is going to happen with this week's hot books. The hot books I look at are the CBSI Hot Top 10 and the Comic Tom Key Collector Hottest Trending Comics of the Week. We only have 16 to talk about. There are 4 overlaps this week, which is an unusually high number. But I throw them in categories with my predictions sure to go wrong with, straight cash. How many books I think are going to continue to climb over the short term? Mostly we're talking 6 months to a year. When I do my look back. Now, I'll differentiate if I think something's going to do that, and then I'll usually mention when I think longer term is going to happen with that book. I keep saying I'm going to fix this and get a better one, and I have been too lazy to do it. The Worth It books that I think are totally worth what they're going for right now, I expect them to stay right around this price, maybe go up slightly. But yeah, they're right in the range of where they need to be. The I'll Be Backs, also kind of in the range where they need to be, but books that are going to take a step back, 10, 15, 20% decrease from where they are now. It's a trap. These books are going to drop 30, 40, 50, 60%, I think, over the next 6 months. That's kind of how I define the difference there. These books are definitely not worth the current hype, or that hype is just going to fade, and people are not going to have the demand. Come on, man, is usually reserved for something I'm like, why are we chasing this? What? What are we doing? And then finally, we got our little dumpster fires. These are books that just crash in value. You'll be surprised. Most weeks, it seems like when I do the look back, there's a 70, 80%, a book that decreases in value by 70, 80+%. So, yeah, there's almost always a dumpster fire. Now, I don't always find it. I don't always identify it, but there's almost always one. So those are the categories we're going to break books down. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. So those are all my first Spider Lady appearances. So, yeah, definitely closer than it should have been. Really, how many minutes do you predict left out loud? He's saying all of them. 14.5 minutes. I think there's a lot of Star Wars here because of bounty. There is a ton of Star Wars, and we will get into that here in a minute. The last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books have some relation to Star Wars stuff. So there'll be a lot of meh at the end, for sure. So let's get it started. First up, we got Back to the Future #1 from 2015, the Sports Almanac variant. So this is a comic that put the Sports Almanac cover on it. So it's a variant cover to the Back to the Future #1. This book goes for quite a bit anyway. Raw copies will go for around $300. But the reason they put it on the list is a 4-time signed book. So signed by Marty and Doc and Biff and Lorraine, Marty's mom. All 4 actors signed this book. 9.4 went for $14K. So they put it on the book, or put it on the list. $14,000, which I'm going to say for those forged signatures, probably not that many of those there's not that many of this variant out there. There's not, I think it's I'm really sure. It's super cool. I don't know what you could tell about it. Like, there's probably not very many of the book. There's not many that are going to be signed 4 times. It's kind of a neat one-off thing. I don't know if there's anything you can tell about the trends. Mike, put it as worth it with the signatures, probably. Hey, John, what's going on? We're just getting started. We literally are on the first book, so you're okay, Deep House. What is going on? So, yeah, so the signatures themselves are super hard to get and super expensive. So I'm not going to say I'm going to put this as worth it because there's really nowhere else to put it. I don't know, in the fall golf. Yeah. So, but because this is just so hard to get, but yeah. So John, you did miss out on the start here where we had the football conversation. So you timed it well coming in when you did. So I don't know if there's much to say about this. We're going to move along, but it's kind of a cool sale, kind of a cool book. Next, we got Family Tree #1. This is a Lemire project, and this was part of a whole list of stuff Image put out this week that had been optioned. It's caused a 1,700% increase in sales. But here's the thing. Average sales on this are, which 1,700% means they just weren't selling before. But, yes, he is. A house of the end. But it's still only averaging about $8. So if you're spending $5 to $15, we'll even say $15 on this, and it's been optioned, that's probably about right. That's probably worth it. When you get in trouble on these option news books, is when you let the option news take you to $25, $30+ for the book, because they never hold that because there's always so long between them. If you're paying double cover, then you're probably fine. And this is Unruly is exactly right. Like, I like Lemire. Maybe this amounts to something. Maybe it doesn't. It's kind of a meh, but at $8 average, if you get it for $8, you probably did okay. You're okay. So there you go. Pay too much now or wait. I'm stealing that going forward for anytime there's option news. I'm stealing that, John. That is well summed up, sir. That is well summed up. Yeah. Option news is the easiest way to lose money. Yeah. So that was our only real option news of the week. Next up, we got a little Jen Bartel 1 in 50 variant for Daredevil, Woman Without Fear #1. Now, Part of this could be being driven by the fact that a lot of books were delayed coming out this week, so not all the shops got them. So people are trying to get it, not sure they'll be able to get it from their shop, or didn't get their books on time. This one is though. This is a 1 of 50. Still only doing 75 to $100. Pretty overpriced. So it didn't explode. And so that tells me right there, because it didn't even really got to double ratio, didn't really get beyond that. Generally, what's our rule on these ratio variants? It's got to almost get to triple before it's going to stay high. Double usually means it backs up to somewhere between ratio and double ratio. That would be my expectation on this, especially since there's more that are going to be coming out. Now, sometimes with these, you do get a little hidden thing. The week 2, you get a week 2 bump that sends them further. If it doesn't bump to 150 plus in the next week, it ain't gonna. I'm definitely right on the I'll be back in that case. So it is a gorgeous cover. I'm a big fan of the colors. Jim Bardell is really good with the colors and stuff. Nice variant, but great cover, but this is still too much. I think that's exactly where you're at. It was the rules on ratio variants. There you go. There are rules. There are. And there's always exceptions, but they usually work. Hey, Ohana, what is going on? Yeah, no new character, nothing like that. Our next cover is Scorched. Number 1. This is the Todd McFarlane 1 in 250 signed variant. So all of these 250 are signed by McFarlane. There's a total of 838 of them. So what does this mean? This is hard to judge, but we now have sample size on this. These are going for $650 to $700 right now. But the reason I say we have sample size is he did this for King Spawn, and he did this for Gunslinger Spawn. King Spawn had like 1,200 of these. It was the same thing. Every 250 variant got signed. King Spawn had 1,200 something. Gunslinger had 870, so like 40 or so more. Cannot emphasize meh enough. Ohana's saying worth it. There are more signed books than there are unsigned ones. He has signed a lot of books. He is definitely the Stan Lee of signing books, the current version, and maybe has signed as much, if not more. Here's the deal on it. So I said 650, 700. That is pretty much exactly where those other books have settled, in that range. A little wider range than that, but in that range. There's slightly fewer of these. My guess, though, is this is going to stay right here. Those other books didn't keep going up after the initial jump. They settled in right around this price. They seem to have mostly stayed right around this price. Given that, my guess is that's what we're looking at. For 30 years, still can't figure out the big deal about Spawn. I haven't ever read it, so I can't really say anything. Saving up for baseball, no doubt. Yeah. So my guess is it stays here. I'm going to put this as another as a worth it. I should have put that Daredevil thing was an I'll be back, in case you guys were wondering, because I didn't do it. This is a worth it, because the other two say it. The other two books that he did this on say that this is about right. Next, we got Doctor Strange Bloodstone #1. First appearance of Lyra Bloodstone in her origin, and everybody's losing their mind over a Bloodstone. I know we're all on Elsa Bloodstone appearing, so now we're going to be all about Lyra Bloodstone. Part of this is, again, the shipping thing. Some of these books didn't get out like they were supposed to, but this raw copies of this are going for, on average, $15. Anybody remember that Lucy Wen book that was the Black Widow character that they were going to use a lot, and they have used a lot? How much she's going for? Like, okay, 15 is not crazy for a first appearance. I will say that. On this A cover, 15 is not crazy for a first appearance, but I would still put this in the I'll be back. The Righteous Bloodstone, more like Kidney Stone. New character, I don't really care right now. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, meh, indeed. Cover price, 2 weeks, so it is meh. I don't know if it'll be cover price, but my guess is that, 6 months from now, you're going to be paying double. You're going to be paying $10 to $15 for this. I almost guarantee it. It's not going up necessarily, like, unless there's really some other kind of announcement. And that brings us to the next book on the list, the 1 in 10 of the same book. First appearance, and she is on this cover where she's not on the other cover. Now, this is the insane one. 1 in 10, going for $50 to $60. So that's 5 to 6 times ratio. You do the math. What? I get she's on the cover. She's going to have to be really important to do this. Flavor of the week is absolutely right. Again, I think part of this comes back to not a lot of the books got out like they were supposed to, but 50 to 60 for 1 in 10 of a new character that we know almost nothing about at this point. We have no idea how much she's going to be used. Absolutely the flavor of the week, as Mr. Minutes is saying. If you're going to go for one, this is probably the cover. Yes, this is probably the right one, but $50 to $60. You can still get number ones of Strange Academy this much later for $50 to $60 on some cases. And yeah, I think this is a trap. I think this is way too much for 1 in 10. I think if you're talking 20 to 30, okay. 50 to 60 seems way disproportionately high. This character has to be, somewhat important to. Yeah, I can see that. Dog giving up on me, leaving the room. This week's timeless. Yeah, is she hitchhiking? Maybe. She might be hitchhiking. All right, what we got next? Naomi, number 1. Speaking of traps, I talked about this years ago. 2019 was when this was released. If you remember, the summer after this was released, this was a $500 to $600 book and a 9.8 on the number 1. It's back on the list finally because the first episode of the show dropped. The reason it was a $500 or $600 book is because they were talking about that they were going to make her into a show way back then. So we finally got the first episode of the show. The book is going for $80 raw, $175 to $250 and a 9.8 here, week of release of the show. Let me repeat that. $175 to $250. God, this book was a massive giant trap. It's a WB show. The WB stuff have never worked. I don't know that it's a massive giant trap, but this is the hype of Naomi. We're getting Naomi. She's in a show. And it's still even half of what it was when that first craziness hit. And I'm thinking it's not going to hold this. Oh, this is wrong. I'm thinking it's a trap still. Even at $250, my guess is it actually, like, you'd be hard pressed to get it for the 175 end on the 9.8 right now. But oops, clicked off the wrong thing. Whoa, should I get the trap down? There you go. Anyone watch the show trailers? No. Anybody watch the show? Only the first episode is that. Yeah. Worthless books. Yeah. This is absolutely correct. Like, I said it back then. Why were we chasing Naomi for all that money? And it's proven right so far, and it's still not going great. Yeah. Even Tom and them talked about that it was confusing, and the world it's in is not the regular CW world, and there's no Superman, which Superman's a big part of Naomi's like backstory, and yeah. Next, so we're just gonna move along. We're moving into Marvel rumors now. This is the Hood number 1 from back in 2002. This is the first appearance of Parker Robbins, the Hood. And this is hitting the list because what was the rumor on this one? Oh, that this character might appear in Ironheart. It was not for adults. There you go. Not necessarily a great source on this one, but this book has jumped all the way up to a $60 to $75 book for the Hood. I've never even heard of this character before this. I'll be honest. This is a Marvel character. I had no idea they existed, and people are paying $60 to $75 for this. Now, I won't judge and say that means the character sucks. book. I like the hood with this character, but yeah, forgot all about this guy. How far away from? At least the fall, if not 23, before we're getting Ironheart. It is not one of the next three are and it's supposed to be after Black Panther, which has got pushed to the fall because she got hurt. It's supposed to be after Moon Knight, after She-Hulk, after Miss Marvel. So yeah, Ironheart is not coming soon. Our hoodie's still in fashion. I don't know. Our hoodie's still in fashion. Then I'm fashionable. Man, content. Yeah, I can buy $50 to $60. Yeah, we're sticking on the it's a trap for not even great sources on the spec here that this is going to be here. At least from unless I misinterpreted what they were saying. But yeah, this seems like a trap for sure. And it gets, should I say worse? Is worse the right way to put this? I need to fix something here real quick so I can keep doing it. All right. Next, Thor number 378. So this is an issue where Thor forges this armor you see wearing here on the front. Unverified, unleashed FOMO. Yeah. Big Will is right. For sure. Big Will is absolutely right. You should not be paying that kind of money for the hood. Now, so Thor creates his armor. Well, there was a poster that dropped this week that had like MCU related stuff, and Thor is in his outfit, looks kind of similar to this armor. So suddenly we're paying $10 to $15 for this. There's like a 1,000% increase in sales, a 9.8 of over $100, because maybe Thor's gonna wear an armor similar to this. What are we doing? Why are we specking on armor? I don't understand. I mean, it's only 10 to 15, which means it's not like stupid, but it's stupid. It's armor. It's an outfit. What are we doing? Yeah, like the Spidey black. That thing actually helps. Or maybe I'm wrong on here, but yeah, come on, man. We're like Nova. It does look a little bit like a Nova Corps costume. Everything's a key. I'm moving on before I get upset. Just come on. Next, we got Amazing Fantasy number 10. This is back on the list. This has been on the list once or twice before, a long time ago. This is the first appearance of Nina Price, the Vampire by Night, who's like the niece of the original Werewolf by Night. So this is hitting 80 to 100 plus for raw copies, 9.8, $650 for the Nina Price. What? This is all based off some actress got cast, supposedly got cast for the Halloween one-off special that they're talking about doing, which everybody's been specking on Werewolf by Night for this Halloween special that Disney Plus is doing next year. Which my guess is will probably lead into a show of some sort. But are you kidding? Your family key. Vampire by Night. Well, it seems like half vampire, half werewolf. Yeah, I don't know. Eye roll, man. I hate all that half run. Throw it in the dump. Don't throw it in the dumpster. Put it on eBay. Or yeah, you throw your cash in the dumpster if you're paying $80 to $100 for this character. Are you kidding me? Do we think she's gonna carry her own show? What? No, they won't. Alex, I don't think they will. $650 for 9.8. Oh man. Is her name Susan? Is it Susan Speck? Then it would be solid. If it was Susan Speck, it would be solid. But Nina, no. I mean, I actually don't know that it's going to come down that much in value because because it had been on the list before, actually, it was holding higher value than that. It's probably more realistically this. I don't know that it's going to crash and burn in value, but I think it's definitely backing up. 6 months from now, we might, maybe not, because we'll be approaching, midsummer. Maybe we'll have some kind of thing on Werewolf by Night on that holiday special, but I kind of doubt it. The official prediction here was trap and not a dumpster fire, but I think it's a dumpster fire that we're just doing this. So many books. Fuck yeah. So many books on my list. Man, $650. I could get like multiple books off of my 2022 want list that are big boys that aren't freaking Nina Price. Anyway, next. Oop, there we go. World War Hulk #5, first appearance of Scar. So this is more rumors for the She-Hulk show. I just don't understand this spec that people think Scar is going to appear. Scar, however you pronounce it. Raw copies up to $90, 9.8, 360. Mind you, less than Nina Price by half. But they've said that She-Hulk is a half-hour situational lawyer comedy. Like, that is the pitch for the She-Hulk show. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be her being a lawyer, being She-Hulk. Where do we think Scar, who is not, like, funny or pleasant to be around, whose whole is tragedy and violence and, like, how does he fit in the She-Hulk show? Notice there's not even any like spec recently on like Red Hulk anymore, which I think is a much more likely thing. And there's no spec on that right now, and we're all on Scar. And then even if he does, here's the thing: even if he does, we've seen this multiple times already. These characters show up in these shows, and then 6 months later, nobody cares. Heck, even Monica Rambeau's books, and we know we're getting more of her, have dropped. I just talked about last week the Yelena Belova books. She showed back up in Hawkeye. Her books are still down from when Black Widow first came out. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think the show is going to be great. I just don't think Scar is good spec for it. Next. Oh. All right. The rest of the way is Star Wars, and really you can check out or just put like 5 minutes. And we'll all know what you mean. And yeah, 5 books left, all Star Wars related. 4 of them directly related to the character on this cover, Black Chrysanthemum. This is Dr. Aphra #1, the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. Cool cover. Not his first appearance, but just a cool Black Chrysanthemum unreally's asleep. John's pee is out. There you go. So obviously he's been showing up in the Boba Fett show. He's appeared in the last 2 episodes. That's not major spoilers at this point. Raw copies $90 to $100. What? $90 to $100 for an action figure variant that doesn't necessarily have any key inside? Will this character ever be any hotter than he is right now when he shows up? It's meh, but I won't. Which is fine. Why would you buy it now? 6 months from now, people are going to be thinking about this character? I'm not saying it's going to like plummet back to where it was pre-appearance, but it's not going to be as much as it is right now in the middle of the show. Man, this is Bantha Voodoo. Well played, BB. Well played. Not anyway, because this is a trap. Yeah, he's saying trap. I put it as at 90, I think it, or at 90 to 100, I think actually it is. I originally put it as an I'll be back, but I think we're up to a trap at this stage. I think it's a $30-ish book in 6-8 months, $30-$40 book, which I think is a much more, which is still pretty good money for just a cover. But yeah, I don't think it'll be 10. I think you're probably looking at 30. But yeah, still a massive drop for sure. Maybe 40, 30, 40 is, I think it's probably where you're looking, but which is still huge. Way too much. He is very cool. He is a cool character. He's a lot more violent than Chewbacca for sure. Next, let's just keep going with him. So we got Star Wars number 20, and this is very interesting because Tom talked about this being the Black Chrysanthemum's origin, but it also has this fight with Obi-Wan. But nobody really listed his origin. The book I'm about to talk to next is the one everybody talks about as being his origin. Anyway, it's got a cool cover. This is where he gets his scar on his face. This one's going for $20. I'm still putting in it, which is a much more reasonable price to go after a book related to this character. Yeah, for sure. But again, will the character ever be hotter than he is right now when he first appears? The answer is no, he will not. $20? Because after this, he's already appeared. What's the big deal if he comes back again? Yeah, I'll be back. Solidly, I'll be back. This one did. This was the first appearance with the comics. This is not his first appearance yet. I haven't got to that book yet. But yeah, he was not in the show. This was comic first appearance. Not in a book. This was a comic character first. Next. Dr. Aphra Annual, number 1. So this is widely regarded as his origin, although Tom didn't mention it. This is the one that everybody lists as the origin on eBay. And this is going for 20 to 40. Again, he just appeared. Come back later. If the Disney Plus shows have showed us anything, is the worst time to buy these books is when they're releasing the episodes. 6 months, year from now, unless they're going to get an additional one. Yeah. Yeah. This is true. They do kind of follow that. But generally, this is the one listed as his origin. $20 to $40. But it's an I'll be back. They're all I'll be backs or traps. All should be patient on. Do not buy while the show's coming out. Makes no sense. Next, we got his actual first appearance. This is Darth Vader number 1, which is a cool cover, cool book anyway. This whole run is really good if you've never read it. But this whole run is excellent in my opinion by Kieran Gillen. If you're into Star Wars and Darth Vader, this is just a great book. Great series. But anyway, this is the first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. $35. This is actually the exact same price it was last week when I hit the list, but still just a ton of sales. So even though it didn't bump any further, there's a hint. It didn't keep going, which I was actually expected it to. It didn't keep climbing, at least not yet, even though he appeared again. So even though it didn't keep going, it's still on the list because of all the sales. $35 to $50, still where it's setting. 9.8, $325. 6 months from now, $20 to $35 for a raw copy. I'm gonna say maybe 20 to 40. So 35, 50 now, and it's gonna be a 20 to 35. 9.8, 2 to 250 instead of 325. I should put that down. Take it to the bank. That's what JP says. 6 months. 20 to 35. JP, I'm putting an official prediction here. Prediction on my notes. 20 to 35. 8 to 50. It might be a little high. I might be more like 150, something like that. But yeah. They do have some good ones. Definitely. I think so, for sure. I'm not exactly sure. A good idea. I don't think it was way overprinted, but it might have been a little bit. All right, last book. Silver Surfer 3. No, I'm sorry, Darth Vader 3. I said Silver Surfer 3 because do you remember how we all went, the whole community went crazy? Mephisto is coming. Omega Red is coming based on nothing other than our own wants when we were in the middle of WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And yeah, we're going to get these characters. We're going to get these characters. I think we're going to get Dr. Aphra. We are not going to get her in the show. I will be stunned if she shows up in the Book of Boba Fett. She doesn't really fit what they're doing here. Like, I've read quite a bit of this character. She doesn't really fit, in my opinion, with the storyline that's going on. Other than just to shove her in, I don't think we're getting it. Do I think we're going to get her in live action very soon? Yes. This ain't the time. So maybe my prediction of an I'll be back for 6 months is wrong because maybe we get information related to the Ahsoka show or whatever. I think that's more likely that we'll see her somewhere in something like that. Maybe this happens and maybe I look foolish. But because I think once she appears, I think this book will go to a new level and won't come back all the way. It's back up to 500 to 650 for 9.8, which is where it was 6-8 months ago, back in the summer. It was this high, and then it had dropped all the way down to like a 300 book for 9.8. Like, I think the character's coming, but she doesn't have her supporting cast, which you could say Black Chrysanthemum is part of that. But I just don't see her appearing. Yeah, the books will go crazy when she shows up, but I just think I don't think this is where it's going to happen. As if well, this is true. I think there's a shot of that, but it depends on exactly the timing of the Obi-Wan show, but I think there's a better shot she would show up in Obi-Wan than she shows up in Boba Fett. But I still not 100% sure that's going to be the one. All right, that's the list. Still put this as an I'll be back. So yeah, so that's everything, fellas. So I hope you have the good rest of your Saturday or Sunday. Rest of your Sunday. Hopefully you got tomorrow off for the holiday. I'm rooting on my Chiefs tonight. But probably foolishly, we're gonna at least play D&D for a little while during the game. I want to get there's some session 0. I really want to play. I want to get started. So my plan right now is we are going to do a D&D session tonight if you guys are interested. And hey, don't be watch the football game. I'm going to have the game on. I'm going to try to at least handle all the background information I need to based on our session 0 to get everything ready to start. So I don't have to deal with that later. And then if the game is close, we're going to bail. And if my Chiefs are killing the Steelers, which I hope they are, we'll keep playing. So we'll see. She would be super young in Obi-Wan. She would be super young. Because her introduction in the comic, this comic is between New Hope and Empire. Is when her introduction is. So depending on how far back it is, she would be super young in Obi-Wan. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ohana. Appreciate that. Go watch your 49ers and the Cowboys. There you go. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow night, whether we for sure do the D&D stuff tonight or not, but tomorrow night, we're going to be hopefully wrapping up Lock and Key on the Indie show. So catch you guys later. I want to hit the right button. Find my outro. Get rid of this. Find my outro. All right. Later, everybody.